video, we will be looking at how you can plug in the CSV item reader for CSV files. Until now, we've discussed how you can create your custom item reader by implementing the item reader interface, and we've sort of done the hard yards in the previous section. We've written a lot of custom code, but typically in enterprises, you will not be doing that because you'll be dealing with data formats which are standard like CSV, Excel, relational database table, etc. So there are some ready-made readers available to you. They're being coded by Spring Batch developers, and you are free to use them. So let's explore one of them. That is the Flatfile Item Reader. So I'm just going to go to the class source code, and as you can see, there is a declaration here which implements a lot of interfaces. So let's just go to one of the interfaces here, and as you can see, this extends the stream item reader. So remember that in the previous section we coded our custom item reader, which is this one, employee reader. So we sort of implemented this item reader and then we overrided the read method. So we expect to see something very similar in this Flatfile item reader. So that is what we are going to look at. Let me just open it 1 second. So as you can see, so our aim is to find the read method and see where it is being implemented, and also ultimately we should be able to find the item reader interface, right? So let's see, this class extends this class. So let's go into this. As you can see, this is an abstract class, so it's not overriding all the methods, so it is obviously extending from here. If you go, this extends and implements this. So we have the item string reader. We have not reached the item reader yet, and yet here you can see it extends this item reader. And finally, we have reached where we wanted to. So we have this read method here. So one of the subclasses, one of the implementations here in this stream must be implementing it. So this is an empty interface. So this is not the one. This is also an abstract class. This is not the one. So let's search for this one. So it's an abstract class, but if you come down, you see methods, and can you see here we have the read method. So this is the class which is actually providing the implementation for read method for the Flatfile item reader. So that is how it is coded. That is the design, and in this way you can read and explore the other classes as well. So let's go ahead and plug this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to employee job config, and here we are going to create our plugged in Flatfile item reader. So first of all, let's create a bean, and let's make it of type public Flatfile item reader, and you have to give it a type. So our type is employee, and let's call it as Flatfile item reader, and let's return null for now. I'm going to put this into presentation mode for you to have a better look. Cool. So now we're here. We need to create the POJO first. So let's create Flatfile item reader. This is the simple POJO, and we get to return that. But before that, let's set a few properties here. So this is one property wherein you want to inform Spring Batch that if there is any label on the first line, that is the header. Typically, you have the column names getting printed. This may change from project to project, and you have to just check if it's applicable to you. So if you're expecting a header in your file, then go ahead and do that. But we don't have it in our CSV, so I'm just going to give it 0. Or we could have omitted it altogether, but I'm just for the explicit understanding, I'm just putting it as 0. Then we'll go ahead and set the next property here, which is the line manager, the line mapper. So let's have a line mapper here, and it's, as you can see, it's mapping to the employee class. But here you can have a custom split logic and sort of extract the tokens from the line number and then create the employee on your own. But I'm not going to do that. This is just for showing you. We have got a default line mapper available, so I'm just going to use that. So we have the default line mapper, yeah, and it's of the type employee. So I'm just going to call it default line mapper equals new default line mapper. We've got this set line tokenizer method. So here we can inform Spring Batch what is our tokenizer, what is the symbol that separates the columns. So here we can go ahead and give a line tokenizer and tell it what is the change of columns, what is the event that marks the change of columns. So here again you can have your custom logic here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set one of the delimited line tokenizer. So there is a pre-built class here, so you can see delimited line tokenizer. Let's call it line tokenizer equals new line tokenizer, and we'll set the token here, the delimiter here. So our delimiter is a comma, so let me just put in comma. Let's go further. Let's also set the names, that is the names of the columns. So here, as you can see, it intakes a varargs. This is known as a varargs. So we can provide as many comma separated values as we want. So first we have the name, then the ID name followed by the location, followed by the email. So this is the headers. These are the column names. Also, let's so this method is sort of getting messy, so I'm just going to paste some code here so that we can extract it. So this is the get line mapper. So let's not create this here. Let's have it outside, and I'm just going to pass this tokenizer that we created to this function. So it's going to be line tokenizer. So what I'll just explain this code to you. We have the line mapper here, which is we're passing this tokenizer that we created. It's going to attach it to that, and then we're going to use the bean wrapper field set mapper and give it our target class, and then return the line mapper. So we have the line mapper here, so let's take it into a variable, and finally we should set it to our reader. So I'll just set to set line mapper as line mapper. So that's it. This is the code. I know it's a bit lengthy, but it sort of gives you some ready-made stuff. So why not use this? So this is the class which is actually helping us to map the fields to our POJO from our CSV. So this looks good. This is configured, but we've not yet plugged this in. So let's plug it. Let's go to the top of our employee step, and as you can see, we have to plug it here. So I'm just going to have this here as the first argument. So let's have this here. Let's put this on the next line. This looks good now, and we're going to get rid of this. So let's go. Our reader, which is the inbuilt reader of Flatfile, is now plugged in, and we are good to go. So let me just take this out of presentation mode, and we can do one thing. But let me. It looks good, but let me show you one problem with this. Let's run this application, and you'll notice what the problem is. We're expecting an exception here. Let me just show that to you. Yeah, can you see we have a big stack trace? If you just go and read this, it says fail to initialize reader. Okay, for some reason, and it's saying input resource must be set. So what we have not done is we've not given it the resource that we want to read. So that is typically the file. So I'll just say set resource, and we need to get it from it's a file, right? So we can have a file system resource. So I'm just going to go new file system resource, and if you see this, I think takes a path. So it's going to take a path, so we can provide that here, and we already have it here. So I'm just going to copy it. In one of the reader we had it, so I'm just going to go and copy some code from here. Yeah, this is the path. I know this is code duplication, but for now our focus is just to learn. So let that be, let's restart this. I expect one more error to come here, and this is the one which I wanted to show you. So yeah, so what it says is that it's able to parse the file, and as you can see, we've got the first record as well, which is great. So it could read our file, but it could not find this method, which is a empty constructor. So the rule is that it actually sets it using reflection. So you need to have constructor in there, as well as you need getters and setters. So it's sort of going to build that object. So it needs to set the values. And if you remember, and if you know the theory that employee is a record which is sort of non-mutable, you cannot go ahead and create setter methods in it. So it's not possible to do this in a record. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this into a class, a plain Java class. So let me do that. So I'm just going to have this. Yeah, I'm going to overwrite it. Yeah, and we have the data and toString, and like we saw on the stack trace, we need a no argument constructor and an all argument constructor. So this should be good to go. We can restart this, and this time we should expect that there is no errors, but there are, because the record methods don't start with get. So we have to change this to get ID, get name. Likewise. Should be good. Let's rerun this, and I see still IG1 error. Oh, we have this location here as well. So let's do that. Just run this. Everything looks good to me. Let's open the console. And as you can see, we have the same data that we had in the last few videos. The size is 2. So all our reading logic is now being handled by the Spring's inbuilt Flatfile Item Reader offered by Spring Batch. So that is how you'll be typically doing it in enterprise. So you can leverage the classes already coded by the Spring Batch developers, and that will make your life very easy. So this is how you can read your CSV file using the Flatfile Item Reader. And that's it for this video. I hope to see you in the next one.